Hi, caregivers. My name is Valerie Geschwind, and I am a staff developer at the Teachers College Reading and Writing Project. And I'm here today to help you to think about 3 things you can talk to your young writers about other than spelling. I know that sometimes when we look at little kids writing, the only thing that seems to jump out at us is the way that they've spelled words. That's not just true for caregivers, that's true sometimes for teachers as well. But there are so many other beautiful things you can talk to your children about in their writing. The first one is their topics. So it might seem like it's really easy to come up with story topics or nonfiction topics to write about, but it's actually so hard when you sit down to think about what will I write. Sometimes that's the hardest, longest part of the process. And your children work really hard to come up with things to write about every day. So when you're looking at their writing or celebrating their writing, you might ask them, how did you come up with this idea for this story or for this teaching book? Does it make you think of other stories you might write? What do you love about this moment? Or why did you choose to write this topic? So you can really help celebrate the topics they've chosen and written, but then also maybe prompt them to say, what else does that make you think that you could write? Is that something that we might want to write right now? Or maybe is that a story you'd want to write tomorrow? So that you can really celebrate the topics that they've chosen and help them think about future topics as well. A second thing you might notice, talk about, celebrate with your child is just the construction of their writing. So they got their idea. They know they're going to write about when they helped you cook dinner last night. How are they getting that story onto the page? That's a lot of work. Did they talk the story a little bit first? Did they touch each page and say what would go on each page? Did they sketch a little bit on each page or draw some pictures on each page? Did they write some key words on each page? And then once they've really thought about how it's going to go in a book, what did they do to write the words? Did they think of a sentence and then write it word by word? Were they listening to the sounds in those words? How are they actually physically getting the writing, both pictures and words, onto the page? And as you're watching that construction, what might you celebrate? Could you celebrate that they drew a picture on every page to hold on to their idea? Could you celebrate that they wrote a sentence on every page, or maybe just wrote some labels on every page? And then might you ask them, like, how did you decide how you would get that story from your head onto the paper? What did you do? Did it help you? What will you do again next time? So those are 2 things that you could talk about with your child when it comes to their writing. And I'm going to give you one more. The last thing you might want to talk about, celebrate, compliment in your child's writing is the cool stuff that they do as writers, the writing moves that they do. So if you're looking at a story, at a teaching book, at a letter, whatever your child has written, did they do some cool stuff? Did they add characters talking? Did they add feelings? Like maybe even in the picture, you could really tell how somebody was feeling in that moment, or in the words. Did they draw really detailed pictures that give you information about the topic or about the moment? Did they write some words in like big bold letters so they really stand out? What cool stuff did they try? And then you might compliment the cool stuff that they've tried. And maybe even if you read together or if you look at books together, you could find other cool stuff that other authors do, and you could try that too. So when you're looking at your students' writing and all you can see is their spelling mistakes and you want to like grab a red pen, instead maybe try to talk with them about one of those 3 things: the topics that they're choosing to write about, the way they're actually constructing that writing and getting it onto the page, and then what are the really cool writing moves that either they're trying or that you can find elsewhere and get them to try out in their own writing. So I hope that helps. Take care, and we'll see you again soon.